Welcome, everybody, to Blockbuster Mentality, the show where we dive deep into the world of cinema. Today, Dave and I dive deep into our second film in our Star Wars series. We're going to talk about Rogue One, the film that came out in 2016. First film outside of the episodic adventures of Star Wars. The IMDb synopsis for the film reads, "The daughter of an Imperial scientist joins the Rebel Alliance in a risky move to steal the Death Star plans." Here are our thoughts on this movie right after the music, so sit back, relax, let's talk some Star Wars. All right, Dave, how many times have you seen Rogue One now?
I didn't see this in the theater.
You did not see Rogue... Interesting.
I didn't have much expectation for it. I waited for it to come out.
Okay, so you weren't... probably because, Force Awakens might have tainted your...
It did.
Which we talked about in, I think, our overrated episode.
Yeah, I'm not a big Force Awakens guy.
Right.
So this one, I didn't have expectations. I'm like, well, I didn't like that one. I'm probably definitely not going to like this one. And,
Really?
wow, I was really wrong about that.
Wow, so you only saw this, a few months ago, then.
Well, I saw it, I think, when it first came out in Blu-ray.
Okay.
And then I think Netflix got it, so I saw it again. And then I've seen it, I think, 3 full times.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw it twice in the theater.
Oh, wow.
And now twice... So I've seen it probably 4... I'd say I'd seen it total of 3 times all the way through, but I've flipped it on.
I've done the same thing.
Especially with the ending.
Yeah, the ending's great.
Ending I've flipped on many times, which we will obviously get into, but we're gonna talking about Rogue One today, diving deep into it.
Directed by Gareth Edwards.
Gareth Edwards. Did you see Godzilla?
Yeah, and I liked it.
I did too.
I thought it got
it's a little slow at the beginning.
A bit long. Well, actually,
kind of same with Rogue One. It kind of a little, but it showed more than Rogue One. No, I'm sorry, Rogue One showed more than Godzilla did. But
I still like that open to Godzilla. I liked with Bryan Cranston in there. I thought it was actually pretty good. I didn't think it was slow because it really didn't have anything to do with the rest of the movie,
right?
Which totally went obviously in a different direction, but not really related. They're like 2 separate movies, right? The one you're telling the story of this guy who is involved in a nuclear accident, and on the other hand, it's a monster movie. It's not they're 2 different things.
The concept of Rogue One you didn't even like?
I think it was just tainted. I mean, I'm like, I don't know what this is. And then I think they showed prominently Forrest Whitaker, who you and I both discovered that we just do not like this guy. We've done he's been in 3 movies so far, and each time we don't like him in any of it.
Right.
I didn't mind him in the TV show S.H.I.E.L.D., but any of these movies I don't like.
I mean, Battlefield Earth we didn't like anybody in, so I mean, you can understand that. And then we discussed him in Arrival, just not much. I'm trying to think.
Those might have been the 3.
He was in Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah, he was okay.
He was okay in that. I mean, nothing terrible.
No.
But yeah, Forrest Whitaker. We're just not Forrest Whitaker fans. No. I mean, God love him, but we're not Forrest Whitaker fans. Big deal.
So I think that's what I was. So I'm like, I don't really care.
Okay, so that's
part of it.
Okay,
I didn't know what was going on, and I didn't like what happened for the last one. So yeah.
So including the prequel. I mean, was this your first one you didn't see in the theaters? Your first Star Wars movie since you've been alive?
Yeah, probably.
Interesting.
Yeah, first one I never saw. Yeah.
Wow. I can see that. I mean, especially again, it's not part of the episodes, and a lot of people, if you're not following along, people were wondering, "Hey, where's Rey in this movie? Where's Finn?" People didn't know what this movie really was, which was interesting to me. I mean, it's. I guess when you're a casual fan, you don't really pay attention to those things. I don't know. For me, I just really liked the concept. I really dug Force Awakens, so I mean that just made me even more excited for the movie.
Well, that's awesome because you had that payoff scene. In the theater,
exactly. So the in the theater was just absolutely amazing.
Well, I like the time period in this film.
Yeah, the time period. It's a lived-in galaxy, which I love. Everything's grimy and dirty and filthy, which the prequels, everything was clean and shiny and everything like that. Exactly. This is a lived-in world, which I absolutely love.
It's done really well, yeah.
Just like A New Hope. I mean, that was a lived-in world, and you could already tell. But
it was just before the events of A New Hope, more or less, in this one,
it
literally runs right into it.
when I went and saw this in the theater, I came home and watched the beginning of A New Hope, and it's seamlessly. It seamlessly, connects the two. It's amazing.
It's great. The way, they transition, like, stylistically, like you said, and you look like you're aboard that ship.
Oh, I know.
Like,
with, like, the white hallways and, like, the lighting in there.
Hats,
the hats. Yeah, like the weird,
I don't know what design that is.
Yeah, elongated
Sounds
helmets.
horrible to wear, yeah.
Right, yeah. But
it's perfect. Yeah, it ties right in. And it just goes, so it's a great standalone movie. This was a shockingly good movie.
Yep, I totally agree. And so, let's get into, we already talked about Forrest Whitaker a little bit. What did you think of Felicity Jones as
She was really good. Yeah, she did a good job.
I was a little worried. Sorry to interrupt you.
No.
I was a little worried in the previews because she seemed like really stiff in the previews, and there was actually certain scenes in the previews that didn't even make the final film.
Oh, really?
Which is interesting.
Yeah, you see that sometimes.
Yeah. She was stiff, especially at the beginning of the film, like when she first gets, introduced to Mon Mothma and is introduced to the rebellion. She's kind of stiff, but as the film progresses, right. You see the emotion in her. And
she's supposed to be like not trusting anybody, but it's like you end up with just nothing on the screen.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't get any,
right?
That's what she's supposed to be feeling, but she's not doing a good job of like portraying it. But as the movie goes along, she does a good job.
Totally agree. Diego Luna as Cassian Andor.
Really good.
I agree. I think he had some emotional scenes. Again, for him too, the more the scenes went on, the more I enjoyed watching him. And now the more I watch the movie, the more I enjoy watching him. And it's just cool that, and it's actually a really cool thing that, I don't want to get it wrong, but I think he's Mexican.
I think
maybe that is the case.
Okay. Or from Spain? I don't know.
No. I think. Let me look this up real quick. I know. I don't want to get this wrong, but Diego Luna. But it's just cool because he retweeted this thing where a guy saw the film. It took his dad to see it, and the dad was just like almost in tears because this guy, this guy's just like me.
Yeah.
They were like they were Mexican.
Oh, okay.
So it's cool to see that they're, they can be, they're getting more diversified. And Mexico City, Mexico. Okay, phew. I'm glad I got that right. But it's just look up that story. I'm not doing it justice, but it's a really nice story because Diego Luna retweeted it and he said like just how much this impacted him. He's just happy to hear that he could provide that to someone who
that's cool.
Is watching the film and can relate to this, and not just be white dudes enjoying this,
He does a really good job.
Absolutely. And then we have Alan Tudyk as K2SO. K2SO. I love K2SO.
Me too.
What an addition to this film.
I mean, I'll never betray R2D2, but he's my first love. But
my first love, your first droid love.
Yeah, exactly. K2SO. I'll always put R2 as number one, but probably in a blind taste test, I'd pick K2SO. I think he's great.
I mean, seriously. I mean, Alan Tudyk, he's great. He's done a lot of voiceover stuff with Disney. He's been in other stuff. Firefly. He was in that show. Yeah, this K2SO, wonderful addition to this movie in such a great comedic comedy relief to this dark, really all in all a dark film.
He's a capable droid. He's also like as smart as C-3PO, but not a total wimp.
Not a pushover. He just says what he's thinking, but like,
and he's like a security droid, so he's smart, he's powerful, and he could defend himself, obviously, which is great because those other droids are always scurrying away. It'd be nice to have one that could like help you out in a jam,
Right. Especially, I love the introduction of him. It's like, you are being rescued after he just slammed Felicity Jones on the ground.
She like attacks everyone, gets out, he just catches her and throws her on the ground. It's great.
You are being rescued. Love it. Then we have Ben Mendelsohn as Orson Krennic, the Imperial officer. What are your thoughts on Ben Mendelsohn?
I think he's an outstanding actor. He is a villain in the Netflix series.
Bless you. What Netflix series is he in?
He's in Bloodline.
Bloodline. What?
You need to see this. It has the Kyle Chandler from Friday Night Lights.
Okay.
And this,
Oh yeah, I've heard of this. I have not. Yeah, I've not watched it though. I hear it's good though.
it's about a family in the Keys,
Okay.
and he's like the bad brother.
Yeah.
The one that like ruins the family.
Interesting. Does he have an American accent in it? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He what? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, he's an outstanding just bad guy / villain / like psychologically scary kind of person
Yeah.
in this show. So I like fell in love with him in that. And he brings that same thing into this movie. He's an outstanding bad guy.
Yeah, I agree.
And you see like his inner turmoil. He keeps getting like stepped on. He's a bit wronged
Right.
by the process
Yeah.
or whatever,
With the Tarkin and
he's
Vader.
doing his best, but he's like caught between these like powerful personalities that are trying to just not give him his due and destroy him if they want to.
Right, and I'm glad you got that from it because I think a lot of people didn't. Like, I hate how when people say there's no character development in this film.
This is an amazing character. There's just one guy.
Yeah, well, and also, I like Diego Luna. I like Felicity
Yeah,
Jones'
yeah.
character. Like
They're
I
all
like Alan
fleshed
Tudyk.
out.
Yeah, I don't get the character development thing.
I don't at all.
They knew they were going to kill everyone at the end, so why get people attached to these characters? I was attached to these characters, so when they all
I was too.
got their demise, I was
Yeah.
like, dang. But if you didn't feel that connection, it's like, well, okay, well, they all died anyway, so you wouldn't want to be connected to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But
It's a great story of heroism and what gets those characters to get to that point where they're willing to sacrifice their lives.
right,
you
for
know?
the greater good
Yeah.
and things like that.
It's
But yeah,
great.
and Ben Mendelsohn, just the character alone of Orson Krennic gets
Yeah.
me to. There was a book that came out before Rogue One called Catalyst.
Oh, God, here we go.
No, I mean it really it enhances it. You don't need to watch. You don't need to read it. You don't
Mm-hmm.
need to watch it to enjoy this movie. You don't need to watch it to understand this movie. Or
Is he a
read it
main
to
character
enjoy
in this one?
Yeah, it's basically all about him.
Oh,
I
yeah?
mean, it's it actually starts right at the end. It basically starts at maybe at the beginning of Revenge of the Sith, and
Oh,
then
wow.
spans up to like 5 years before Rogue One, or maybe like a little longer, because Ray's not Ray. Jyn Erso is a little girl when the story ends.
Yeah.
So, but it spans a long period. But yeah, it basically shows how Orson Krennic got involved in the Death Star. His
And their friendship?
yeah, you mean Galen?
Yeah.
I mean friendship, yeah. But basically, how Orson had power over him. And
were they always-
Orson was kind of manipulating him
Oh.
into thinking they were friends, but really Orson just needed him because he was smart and he knew how to weaponize kyber crystals to,
Right.
which was the weapon of the Death Star.
So from the beginning, he was manipulating him?
Basically, yes. And then, so yeah, Galen, finally listened to his wife and realized that, this is a bad thing that's happening, and they were on the run, and that's the beginning of the film right
that's
there,
pretty
is them
cool.
on the run. But yeah, it's just really cool, and it shows you the beef between Orson and Tarkin. So
Yeah.
then you understand, but you get more insight as to why Tarkin's acting this way towards Krennic,
Okay.
because Krennic did things in the book that made Tarkin feel this way. It's really cool. I mean, it's definitely it adds to this movie, and I think you would really enjoy it.
That sounds interesting.
And actually, now that I'm on this topic, listening to these books is a treat because there's this thing called Audible, which is through Amazon.
Yeah, yeah.
Listening to these books is awesome because they add the sound effects, they add
that's cool.
the noise,
It's like a theater
yeah,
movie?
the music,
Yeah.
the sound effects, things like that. So it's almost a movie in itself that you're listening to.
Oh, that sounds pretty awesome.
So
actually.
definitely, if you are into that, if you have time for it, I know you
Well,
have
I listen to
time to watch
podcasts
an
and
hour and a
stuff.
half,
Yeah.
2.5 hour movie, but like books, or I can understand how it's more time consuming. But if you listen to these books, like it's really it's awesome. But yeah, that's just my little
that's great.
spiel on
Yeah, maybe,
Catalyst. Yeah, it's great.
Well, what I like about this movie too, on this is that what makes this movie so good is that it backfills all the stuff that you kind of didn't get in the original trilogy.
Right.
I remember we're in our Empire Strikes Back show when Vader's killing all these high officers. I remember saying like, well, who the heck would want this job?
Yeah.
Well, in a way, this story actually tells why someone would want that job. Krennic is the guy that could pretend, that he could have been that guy.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Like Empire doesn't really go in depth with it. You see them as more like buffoons, sort of.
Yeah.
Or whatever, but it's someone that just desires power. That was his motivation, and to to attain what he could. And you can see how that's That's it. If he thinks he can be the one that overthrows Tarkin or something like that,
Yeah.
and have his position, then you're not so bad. If you can get high enough, maybe you won't get choked out. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
no, that's true. And also, it fills in the gap. Like, I always go to the same. I mean, we'll obviously get to this at the end with Vader, but at the beginning of A New Hope, the stormtroopers, first infiltrate that ship that Leia's on and stuff.
Right.
And because it's like Darth Vader's like, I already have done enough work today. You guys just go in, clean them out, and then I'll come in. Like, I'm exhausted. Let's just go in.
Yeah.
I did enough. Like, so it's kind of cool to think about it that way.
Yeah.
Now that you've seen Rogue One, and also there was another thing with A New Hope.
the Death Star.
The Death Star. Oh yeah, the Death Star.
that fills
when
in.
they're all in the circle
Yeah.
on that table, and then Vader eventually chokes the guy but doesn't kill him. Saying, "I found your lack of faith disturbing." There's empty chairs in there.
Oh, really?
So they're saying like one of the empty chairs actually belonged to Krennic.
Oh, wow.
So I think that's kind of just cool that you can like fill in those gaps now, and like, oh well, that was supposed to be Krennic sitting there. For me, that's just
I didn't notice
it's
that.
cool to think about that. Actually have these stories now to put in your head and place people in certain places. But this is just me totally nerding out right
that's
now
fine.
about books and
Totally weird and bizarre, but I'll just let you hang yourself
sorry,
with your words.
I like Star Wars.
Well, the other big thing that it does is it sort of fills the, I don't want to call it a plot hole, but just the general unbelievability of the vulnerability of the Death Star. This one tells the perfect story for
yes, exactly.
Well,
it gives you
why. Galen built, he's an engineer.
Yeah.
He engineered a thing. He built basically a little thing
yeah,
that
I forget what he calls it. Yeah.
like some sort of a special weakness or whatever.
Right.
A vulnerability, Achilles heel. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, I forget what he calls it something. You at home, tell us what he calls it.
But yeah, it has a designed weakness.
Yeah.
So that's why it's not like it just they just happen to overlook it, which is how A New Hope
Yeah.
seems to say, well, if you just fly in here, you just, do like a 5-finger death punch
Right.
so that they die. It's like basically what that is. It's just 2 lucky torpedoes down a hole.
That's what I love about this in this whole new,
Yeah.
like how they're writing these books and stuff. Like they're filling in things, like and it's not ruining them; it's just enhancing.
It is.
them.
It's enhancing. yeah.
Exactly. So,
But then it gives credit back to this one for doing it. And
Yeah.
then you're like, well, I'm thinking about the original trilogy, but here I am. I'm almost living in that same world, and it's updated, and the acting is great, and the direction is great. So it makes all of it better.
well, it's great because it enhances my view of A New Hope. too.
Exactly,
Like,
yeah.
I find that even more enjoyable now.
Yeah, the prequels did the opposite. The prequels confuse things.
Yeah, exactly.
This one, like it says, fills the gaps, enhances.
Exactly. And then speaking of Galen Erso, what did you think of Mads Mikkelsen as Galen?
Oh, as
Erso?
Galen, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember him as Lafitte from the Bond film.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's good in this.
No,
yeah,
I
he
agree.
plays
Casino Royale, right? With the Bond film. Yeah, he was Casino Royale, right?
No, the second one. Oh,
No.
what's it called?
It was, I'm sorry, I have to disagree here.
Is it Casino Royale?
Casino Royale, yeah, it was Mads Mikkelsen.
Okay, well,
But yeah, he's in Casino Royale. Mads Mikkelsen. So you thought he did a good job?
yeah, it's great. It's a nice little. It's kind of a one of those minor characters that plays a big role.
Yeah.
It's not just a dad or whatever. He's integral to everything that happens in the Star Wars universe by
Right.
what he did.
I know.
And he kicks off, helps the rebellion do their thing, and so it's cool because he's basically just bides his time, and he pretty much sacrifices himself
Right.
for the rebellion, even though he's never openly for it.
I know. And that heartbreaking scene there where all his men, which I'm sure he liked, and, he just knew that they had to work, for him, when they all got shot and killed by those death troopers.
It's his fault, really.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I thought he did a great job as well.
So that's the movie.
So that's the movie. All right, folks. Well, that is it for us. But no, we are going to jump into the movie right now.
Yeah. Patented Pick 6.
We have, Pick 6. This is where we give our 6 favorite moments of the film. All right, so the first moment in our Pick 6 is when we meet Cassian.
Yeah.
Cassian, the scoundrel we think he is, right?
Yeah.
And also just, basically what the state of the rebellion is. But yeah, when we first run into Cassian, we're in this little town here, and we're going through, and Diego Luna, which plays Cassian, runs into this guy who's giving him information about
Right.
something.
Someone's
Something about
defected.
someone's defected. Something about Saw.
Right.
Something about Galen Erso. They're building a weapon.
It's really vague.
Very vague. Do they mention? They don't mention Death Star. I don't think at all.
I think they.
They mentioned something about a weapon, anyways.
Right.
That
They're building a weapon.
Yeah, very powerful weapon.
Yep. So here you don't really know who this character is,
Right.
which I like.
Yeah.
And then he shoots the guy because it gets too dangerous.
Yeah, because he gets all the information
Yeah.
he needs, and then he starts freaking out. Like,
Right.
it's like, dude, calm down, because the stormtroopers are coming. He's freaking out, and then Cassian / Diego Luna is like,
he shoots
right.
him kind of in cold blood.
and he's like almost like calming him down.
Yeah.
Like, hey, calm
Yeah.
down, and then boom, shoots him. It's just, and that's like first 15 minutes of the movie because we get introduced to again Mads Mikkel, Galen Erso, and Orson Krennic, and
Right.
prior to like years before, and then they flash to this, and
Was also a very nice.
no, I
open.
like that too. Yeah. And actually, while we're at it, what do you think? What do you think of like the music in this movie? The score.
I like it. I think it has a very creeping sound. It adds tension and just a general darkness.
Because this is the first Star Wars movie that does not have John Williams, and I notice it.
Yeah.
It is a little jarring to me at first. The more I watch it, the more I get used to it.
I think it's a more complex theme.
Yeah,
It doesn't rely on the nice callbacks that John Williams, he's great at.
right. Which and they do the the
Yeah.
normal music here and there.
But this one sort of it kind of takes a slight step back. John Williams' music is always in your face in every movie.
Yeah.
This one is a little different. So I thought it was just fine.
To me, at points, it sounded like it was a movie that it was trying to sound like Star Wars music, but they didn't have the rights to the Star Wars music, so it just sounded kind of like it, but it was just kind of generic sci-fi music.
That's a funny take.
At some points.
That's really funny.
So-
It's hilarious. I hear what you're saying.
I really focus on scores in movies. Like scores really like affect movies for me.
I thought this one set a good mood. Honestly,
But this watch that I watched for the show definitely it was my best take on the score, so it's growing on me, but it was a little jarring. And real quick, the title of Rogue One. Do you have any thoughts on when they actually showed Rogue One on the screen? The words Rogue One.
No.
It looked amateur hour to
Really?
me. It looked like they were like, "Oh crap, we forgot to put the title in. Let's
Really?
quickly do it." And they quickly did it, and then the premiere was 3 hours later or something.
Oh, that's funny. No, but I don't. No, I don't. I thought it was
When
fine.
you watch it again, you're going to be like, "Oh,
I'm gonna pick
I
that
see
up
what he's talking
because
about."
I have to agree with you because Ben's
Yes.
always correct. Inevitably, Ben ends up being right.
That is true. But but yeah, I love this Cassian scene because it sets the tone for the movie.
Yeah.
Like, he shoots the guy and it's like, oh wow, this is what we're getting into. This
isn't the Luke Skywalker rebellion.
Right. Yeah.
This is a rebellion that's basically barely surviving, so they're willing to do whatever they can to keep like the cause going.
Right.
So, which means slightly unethical things that wouldn't necessarily pass muster in any other typical Star Wars movie. Like,
Right.
you kill this guy. I mean, the whole thing is the admiral or whoever he is. He's like, we're just going to kill Galen Erso. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's kind of the point of what they're going to do, just because of the
that's
fact that
Cassian's mission right now.
they're not buying that he's a secret double agent
Right.
or whatever. We just need to kill this guy because
Yeah.
what he knows, even if it's true, we need to kill him because of on the chance that he's not gonna.
Because what if the weapon isn't finished?
Right.
And he's the key to finishing it. Let's kill him.
Yeah,
So there's double things for why
I just
they need
like
to kill him.
Yeah, exactly.
I love the nitty gritty.
Yeah, they're not the morality here is not. This is survival.
Right.
It's not right and wrong. Want to be the show the better face or prove that we're morally better than the Empire.
Right, yeah, it's
This
about
is
the
just
greater
about winning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
winning and the greater good.
like that.
I kill this guy now, but it's going to serve a purpose in the future.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I love the nitty gritty of it, and you get more context into what the rebellion actually is.
Yeah.
In A
following-
New Hope and stuff.
Exactly. I mean, following the prequels, everything was in shambles, right?
Right. That's very true. Yeah, because not everyone was going to agree that this guy was the emperor and the way the empire was going, how it was being handled.
And you bet that anybody that was on the fence, Palpatine was going after them,
Right.
having all his resources devoted to chasing them down and killing them all. Vader too. So yeah, this one gives all that much more context.
Absolutely. So yeah, I love the nitty-grittiness of the rebellion in this movie, and that Cassian scene really sets the tone for what the state of the rebellion is.
Yeah, we're not gonna like sit on our high horse to win this thing, like sort of like the Jedi were in the prequels. That was one of their mistakes.
Right.
They were too rigid in what they thought and what how to approach Anakin. They obviously botched it every which way. So
Definitely.
this is like no, if the it's not the Jedi here, but the rebellion. If those guys could talk to the prequel guys, we'd be just like, no, we're just gonna go kill Palpatine.
Yeah,
that's basically
just kill him.
That's the plan. It's not to arrest him, to bring him to trial. We're having an assault, and he will die.
Yeah,
and that's it. Not this try to make everyone make the right decisions, which never works, right?
Definitely.
So yeah,
especially when you have a weapon that's capable of destroying planets.
Yeah. There's no messing around here.
Killing a guy or two, is nothing compared to what this Death Star can do.
It reminds us of our debates about nuclear war.
Yeah,
right. This is a sacrifice. Look, if it means I need to go assassinate a scientist in North Korea, I'm just making that up. But if that's what it means, so that we can potentially not have them launch a bomb that kills millions of us, this is like Dr. Strangelove again, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You start weighing. It's crazy, but this is where you're desperate.
No, definitely. So yeah, you definitely weigh it, and it's just and even if I have to die doing it,
right? Because I know that I'm doing something for some greater good.
Exactly, I'm doing what I believe in. I'm fighting for what I believe in. So
that's the heroism of this movie that keeps coming back.
Great stuff. So then, what's our next moment in our pick 6?
This is where they're on Jeddah.
Yep, Jeddah.
In Jeddah City, where
we've already met. Yeah, we met Saw Gerrera.
Yeah, Jane Erso and Diego Luna, what's his name?
Cassian Andor. Yep.
Yeah, where they're like the city's about to blow because it's under occupation, literally, by this huge Star Destroyer hovering above it.
How awesome is that shot?
I know.
I love this practical effects because you can tell that's like a model that they did, even with the Death Star and stuff. Like that's, I don't know, it might be CGI, but it looks like a model. It looks like a model that you made for the originals.
Exactly, and I like too when they're in the desert before this, showing sort of these fallen statues. And I think when the pilot also defects, I like those little touches there.
Me too.
Where you have this giant monument that fell down at some point.
Yeah, so you can tell this is a historic city.
Yeah, it's this old place that had some glory. It reminds me of we saw this a little bit in Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah,
in Vegas.
You're right.
There.
Yeah, that's cool.
And if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, they go to these worlds in the movies and in the books where they have these massive statues. It's like a wonder of the world.
Right.
It always, at least for me, it always makes me think, but what happened there? What's that story?
Right.
It just enhances your imagination.
Well, and that's what I hope they get into with these Star Wars movies, is going into those older stories.
I would love
what happened back then, what happened with the Jedi and the Old Republic.
Exactly.
As they talk about. So I really hope they explore that.
So I like that. There's this constant world building here, even though we know the world, right? This takes after the world is already built in the original prequels, but they still keep world building. It's still, doing all these little things.
Definitely. And they explain why the Empire is there, taking out kyber crystals. Mm-hmm. And they don't know why, but we all ultimately know that the kyber crystals are made to power the Emperor's weapon.
That's kind of like the bridge between the prequels and
Empire's
the original.
weapon. Yeah, exactly.
Then you learn about lightsabers, which I think that maybe only have been in video games and novels about what the kyber crystal is.
Kyber crystals I think are in. So basically, if you've only seen the movies, you don't follow anything. You don't know what kyber crystals still are, even after watching all this. So kyber crystals, they power. There's tiny kyber crystals in Jedi lightsabers. So there's big kyber crystals that they're mining
that
on
determines
Jeddah.
The color and the intensity, I think, of the beam.
Yep, exactly. And then that also they can find giant kyber crystals on this Jeddah city that basically power the Death Star, give it its power, to destroy planets.
By the way, I realized I may have misspoke just a minute ago when I said that sets the context for. I think I said it came after the original trilogy. But, I mean, time-wise, we know that.
Yes,
the world was built. This is really more the world of the original trilogy,
right? Exactly.
And that's what I was trying to say.
No, I got you. I got you, man. I got you. But anyways, our number 2 in our pick 6, we still haven't got to. But yeah, we're just basically giving you what's going on.
Oh, so Chirrut and so they go to Jeddah City. They meet these two guys who are guarding the temple after it's been raided. But they're still hanging around and telling people their fortunes and stuff like that. They're just kind of weird guys, right?
Yeah.
But Chirrut knows who Jane is in some way. He knows Jin, yeah.
Yeah, because he can feel her. He's not a Jedi, but he's definitely Force sensitive. He knows the Force. He feels the Force.
Yeah.
Everything like that. And this Baze guy is obviously his protector, and he like kind of guards him because this Chirrut is blind, played by Donnie Yen. He's blind,
really good.
So you would think he would need power, but Jyn Erso and Cassian are kind of cornered here with a bunch of Jedi, and then here comes Chirrut, the blind guy, saying, I forget what exactly he says, but basically the Force is strong. The Force, goes as it wills.
I'm one with the Force. The Force is one with me.
Yep,
whatever.
Exactly. And he takes out all these Star Troopers.
Awesome. Because they meet earlier, and there's a connection there, and then they go to defend them, and they're just. They got nothing to lose, but they know that he senses probably Force sensitivity in her.
Right, exactly. Well, and she has that kyber crystal around her neck that her mom gave her. And he probably senses that too.
Exactly.
Because I don't think she's Force sensitive.
Oh, you don't think so?
No, I don't think so at all.
I
think they would have addressed that.
But I thought that she had some kind of belief. Maybe she just believes in it rather than.
Yeah, I think so, because even her mom, in the book they get into it of how.
So not even a tiny bit. I'm not saying she needs to be moving things, but.
I mean, maybe, but I don't think it was.
For some reason, I interpreted that as her being.
No, I think it was all about the kyber crystal around her neck. I think that's what's guided her a little bit, because the kyber crystals can guide people. They guide people to, where they need to go. But that's what Chirrut feels. I feel, but yeah, he comes in, just kicks ass. Right? Yeah. I mean, it's like kung fu, like samurai.
I love that.
Stuff,
yeah, and
just
him being blind makes it better.
And you're like, oh well, can they just shoot him? But they try shooting him, and he just moves out of the way because he can sense it. He can feel it. Right? Yeah, exactly.
It's great kung fu stuff. And then Baze comes in with his amazing gun, just
amazing. Yeah, because after Chirrut takes them all out, it's like okay, it saves the day, and then all the stormtroopers come. It's like oh great,
I wonder
they're
if
gonna
that
get
gun
captured here, and then Chirrut,
boom,
that gun is awesome.
Do you think that's kyber crystal powered?
Maybe, yeah, because I never thought of that until you just mentioned it. Yeah, that's a good call. Because that is insanely powerful.
Awesome, like portable machine gun.
Yeah, it's like a backpack almost.
It's like a heavy gun that like an AT-AT would have.
It would make sense that it would be because I mean that thing is insane.
Powerful.
And I love the sound effects in this movie with the gun sounds so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that is awesome when he just just takes them out.
So we meet these two characters and we know that they're definitely on the rebellion. They have been in it forever because they've been protecting the temple. They join up with all of them, right?
Well, not technically in the rebellion.
Well, but just on the side of the good side of the Force.
Right, exactly. Yep.
These are the guys you want on your team, right? Because they're still hanging around even though everything's been destroyed.
Definitely.
So what are they doing there exactly? Are they trying to find more crystals?
As he says, they're the guardians of the Whills. WHILS.
Is that the writings?
Yeah, it's something to do with the Force. I'm not well versed in it at the moment. I know there's some little novels about it.
I think they're like scrolls or something.
Yeah. So it's basically the Bible of the Jedi almost. Right. And there's old temples that used to be on Jeddah. They're the guardians of that.
They need to do those movies. They need to do just a TV series.
Yeah, and I think they're definitely getting to it. It's just I mean we just need to be patient.
So they were somehow just keeping those things.
I don't know. I don't know. I think I took it as they were like guarding. They were the guardians of like the temples.
That's what I thought too. But they was already been destroyed. So what?
Yeah. I mean, maybe. Yeah, maybe they're just staying there just because he feels
just drawn
like
to the place.
Again, he says the Force, guides you, and I forget exactly what he says, but maybe the Force is keeping him there, and then finally, that kyber crystal came there, and he realizes I got to follow this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
these are how these characters end up with each other, yeah.
I like the meetup of everybody. Yeah. It's like kind of like I don't know.
We have a shared enemy. We're not like we have a mutual respect, sort of, at some level. We're fighting the same bad guy, so that must mean we have something in common, which they find out, which he sensed in her before, and then confirms, and then they were like, we're really on the same side,
right? But yeah, it's just such a cool scene when they save them and everything like that, and then they get to Saw's place, which kind of leads to our number 3. But
they're trying to find the defected pilot.
Yeah, and because Jyn knows Saw,
right,
from their child, and Saw's in Catalyst as well. He's in the book, so we get kind of insight on him and their relationship and how he got involved with Galen and stuff.
He's an infamous
outlaw, and I
He's-
like this too because he's a rebel, yes, but he's a rebel the rebels don't like. Like he's like
Right.
he does his own thing.
He's got his own thing, yeah.
Like he kills people. He's almost like a terrorist almost,
Yeah.
you know. And when the
Yeah.
rebellion is like freedom fighters,
He's definitely
you know?
like an enemy of the state.
Yeah.
He's like a public enemy. Like he's not a guy that can walk down the street.
yeah, exactly.
He needs to have his hideout, and he's powerful, but he's limited to what he can do.
And before they, Sherwitt and Baze save them, I love that scene where his men are like, they like attack the Imperials all of
Yeah.
a sudden in that tank. It's like, it's very like war feel. It's almost like Hurt Locker or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's a good call.
So I love that whole scene and just the power and just like every explosion you see these like stormtroopers just flying everywhere. I love that.
Effects are great.
Oh, absolutely. And actually that kind of brings us to number 3, which I'll talk about the effects is the when the attack on Jeddah. So,
Yeah, so we get the first taste of the Death Star that we know from A New Hope.
Yep.
It's this is, when we see like Alderaan getting destroyed, it sucks, but we don't know Alderaan.
Yeah. We don't know Alderaan, and it's just real quick. It just happens.
Yeah, it's not nice. We know it affects Leia deeply because it's her
Right.
home planet. But in this one, we get something very different. Like the destruction in this is terrifying.
Yeah.
What happened here? They just shoots a city.
Yeah,
and
shoot a city.
destroys it, and it's not just a little, couple of block area. It seemed more like they were gonna destroy the city, but ended up like blowing up half the planet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in the effects when it happened.
Great.
So yeah,
It's like a wave of rock.
we meet Tarkin, which we saw in A New Hope. First of all, what did you think about the effects of Tarkin?
I thought it was fine.
Fine, okay, no, I agree. I thought it was groundbreaking.
You can't have
When
the
I
same.
first-
I'm sorry. Just in the prequels, they
Yeah.
had a guy that looked like Tarkin that
Yeah,
didn't talk.
like that was just like a real quick scene at
Yeah.
the end of
And this-
Revenge of the Sith. Yeah,
We know what he looks like, and I thought that was a good choice. The CGI looked good.
yeah, it did. So it threw me off a little. It's a little distracting sometimes,
Little bit, yeah.
especially when you first see it. You're just kind of just amazed by it, so you're not really listening to what he's saying. But yeah, I mean, I think it's amazing as well. And
He's a
actually,
jerk.
Tarkin is in the book as well, like I said. And there's also a Tarkin book out that's canon.
Really?
It's all about Tarkin.
Huh.
That's amazing as well. Definitely check that out.
Look
if
at
you're
you,
gonna do that.
Mr.
I just read and read and read.
Star Wars book
it's,
guy.
It's whatever.
I've only read one Star Wars book.
Really? Read more, especially the new canon. It's a treat. It is a treat, and it just gives you more of a taste of the filling gaps and things like that. But yeah, Tarkin's like telling Krennic like what's going on, like what this Death Star should be done.
Yeah.
Like why isn't it done? And then Galen said Krennic's
like, dude,
like
man,
all right, we'll do a test.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's powerful. It's done. Like I'm just like trying to dot my I's and cross my T's, and here you are like up my ass. You want to see it? Let's fire it.
Exactly.
And it's like, well, destroy the planet. It's like, no, we'll just do the city, and it's still nuts. It does way more than the city.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know what the heck happens to that planet.
I forget
afterwards.
why do they choose Jeddah to test the Death Star on?
As an insult to the temple? I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Actually,
The effects are amazing. But yeah, they say like first reactor. So he says, we could show you the full power, and Tarkin's like, no, that's okay. Just a test will be okay.
Yeah.
So that so they kind of fix that. Alderaan is the first one they totally destroy because they're only destroying the city here. They're not destroying the whole planet. And this is right after Jyn gets that hologram from her dad,
Right.
which is a great moment as well. Definitely. Again, if you haven't seen Rogue One.
this is where we find out what, Ben, about this character.
Yeah, again, as we talked about before, is that he put the he put the weakness in the Death Star.
Right. What a reveal, and then we have this. Meanwhile, this if not city, like region, continent wide destructive thing coming.
Yeah.
And the only person that hears it is her. And everyone else that heard it is now dead, right? Because Saul decides he's going to stay.
Yeah.
They barely escape.
Save the rebellion, save the dream.
And we
If
get-
there's anything I like about
Yeah.
Saw is that line. I like that line a lot.
That's true. I like that.
I hate that stupid oxygen mask. I hate his voice. I'm sorry. I hate his voice. I hate his oxygen mask. I hate that stupid Borgolit thing. That thing that reads the minds. Like, give me a freaking break. Anyways,
yeah, I didn't like that either.
That decreases my stars on this movie.
Well, we get another K2SO saves them here.
Yeah, and then when they're leaving,
yeah. So he saved them a lot. Actually, they met him in the city. He comes, helps them out.
Yep.
And Jen almost shoots him.
She shoots like a droid that looks like him, and then you find out
that was me. He's like, yes.
Did you know that wasn't me?
Yeah.
Love that.
Well, I just want to mention that because he's an awesome character. He's like in with them now by this point.
Right, definitely.
And they're all. So we get the pilot, we get Jin, K2SO, Cassian, and then Shurit and Baze. They're all in the transport ship at this point, right? Heading out. As Jedha City's getting destroyed.
Getting destroyed. And I don't know if it's when they're taking off, but they give a shot of the Death Star, and then you see the planet too with the Death Star and like the debris flying out of the planet.
I wonder how it was like coming up.
Like it looked real. Like it looked amazing.
It's like they're gonna get destroyed. They need to move.
I know. It's like they might want to back that up a little. They might want to. And then
that's how far out of the atmosphere the explosion was. They're like, this stuff is so amazing.
And you realize what a dick Tarkin is. And again, the Tarkin book gives you an idea of why Tarkin seems to have authority over Darth Vader in A New Hope.
Oh, okay.
So it kind of fills in that a little too, which is cool.
That's good.
But this all happens, and then Tarkin's like, "Oh, I owe you an apology, Mr. Krennic." And then Krennic's like, "All right, well, you'll tell the Emperor this, and this." And then Tarkin's like, "No, I'll tell them that
my project is..."
Exactly. And then that again ties into the book as well. Sorry to nerd out about the book, but it ties into the book.
Completely embarrassing on your part. Keep saying
it. keep go ahead and say it. But yeah, I owe you an apology. And he says, "You stand here amidst of my achievement." Great acting there from Ben Mendelsohn there.
Outstanding.
Yeah, and it's just like, are you serious? And there's nothing he can do because Tarkin's above him. Like, so he's
bad, but you feel bad for him.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, man, this Tarkin guy, he's a dick.
Douche, yeah.
Yep. But yeah, great. So then we get to them trying to save. They go to where Galen is, and Galen. Cool scene too.
Nice bit of scenes here.
When the X-wings come in on that planet, and Chirrut shoots some out of the air and stuff. That's really cool. With the bow. Yep, exactly. And Cassian's ordered to actually kill Galen.
Can't do it.
Yep, he can't do it.
He's ready to.
And I like that scene when he's leaving the ship and Chirrut's like, ask Baze, did that guy look like a killer? Because the Force goes, dark around someone who's about to kill someone. I think that's cool insight into what the Force is, and how they can see it and stuff. So yeah, just cool scene. I love all that. It's they're on Edu. Is the planet. Yeah, very cool stuff. And then that's when Krennic gets there because he finds out about Galen gave information to this defective pilot.
They find out about they trace it back to him because. We go right to the source. We line up as engineers, and Krennic says, "Who did it? Whatever. It's a sham." Shoots them all.
Yep.
And that's when Galen admits to it because it feels horrible because he just got all these men killed when it was him. Yeah. And meanwhile, we've got X-wings flying in.
Yeah.
Battle.
It's such a cool, awesome battle scene. Just such cool shots. And for some reason I must have a soft spot. It almost brings tears to my eyes every time I hear a girl say "Papa," because Stranger Things. Yeah. You have 11.
The same thing.
Papa,
actually.
and then in this movie she says "Papa," and I'm just like, oh.
You don't hear Papa that much. Yeah. I thought the exact same thing.
It's crazy, but
mushy.
There's some great emotional moments between Felicity Jones here with her father, and then some back and forth with her and Cassian. Like she's like giving Cassian crap, and then like Cassian's like, "Do you I've been fighting this fight since I was 6 years old. I've been fighting against the Imperial." So it would be cool to see backstory with him and his family, like what happened to them.
I know, yeah. It's interesting with these characters because they're being they're fighting a battle on two sides in a way. They're fighting the Empire, but they're also fighting the Alliance in a way. Like, they're getting pressure from both sides. The Alliance is always telling them to do something that's really contra to what they actually feel like they should be doing in the moment. They have their quote unquote orders, to win the war, which is by people that are actually not really helping them. The Alliance, they're not really letting them do what they need to do to win. same time they're fighting, obviously the Empire, so they're like caught between both. Cassian, you're supposed to execute him. No way.
Yeah.
Not after what I know. I believe her. So your orders are like, it's gonna maybe get me in trouble or whatever, but it's wrong. It's not the right thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. Like he goes up by himself. Like he goes by again. Common theme in our podcast: be true to yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Be true to yourself, like Hemingway said.
It's true.
If it doesn't feel right to you, don't do it. Like, but yeah, it's great and great back and forth. Then, along, exactly what you were saying. Yeah, some lines here. He says, we don't have the luxury of when and where to care about something. I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old. You're not the only one who's lost something.
Yeah.
Some of us just decide to do something about it. Just love that back and forth with Jin and Cassian there.
Yeah, you're not special here just because, I feel bad, but you're not
because she's confronting him that he was going to kill her father.
But, we've all gotten to this point for a variety of reasons. Who knows who you'll be, after the loss of your dad, trying to do whatever, what decisions you'll make is basically what he's saying. I've come along here. You've got no idea what you're talking about. You can't even begin to judge me, basically.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because you don't know what I've gone through.
Right.
Like, don't judge me for...
It's great character development.
No, exactly. Yeah, that's what I don't get. It's like, what are you talking about? No character development. And then, quick line, you're not going to talk your way out of this, Jin says. And then he says, I don't have to. I love that.
Yeah.
Great back and forth.
I don't know you nothing.
Yep. And then, again, this is still just kind of going... But I have to talk about when we get to Mustafar. They don't say it. They've said every planet except for this one, but it's definitely Mustafar. It's Vader's fortress.
Back to the place he was burned.
Yep.
To just have some weird Fortress of Solitude in the lava or whatever.
Exactly. Obviously harnessing some anger, harnessing whatever he needs to harness. What do you think about when he gets raised out of the Bacta tank?
I thought it reminds me of Luke. It's different. I don't know. I don't have a problem either way. This sounds like something you didn't like.
No. I love it.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, I thought it was great. And they even used like Hayden Christensen's body for it.
He's obviously trying to heal his skin and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so.
it makes sense. Like obviously you're not going to be in that suit,
Yeah, you got to be
all
in some
times. Yeah. So I just thought that was really cool. I like the introduction of Vader. The when he chokes out Krennic and then says, "Do not choke on your aspirations."
Yeah,
a little silly to me.
Bit much,
I don't think that would be something Vader would say, but that's just me nitpicking.
It's a Schwarzenegger line.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just kind of.
I agree but that was really one of only a few, if any more, than where there was like cringe.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that wasn't even necessarily cringe, but it was just kind of not something I wanted you to say.
Yeah, I agree.
But I love the intro. I love that Bail Organa, that stuff with Mon Mothma, saying, "Do you still have your Jedi friend?" He says, "Yeah, he served me well in the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I'll reach out to him." She's like, "Can you reach out to someone you trust?" He's like, "I trust her with my life." And it's like we know who he's talking about there.
Yeah.
So I love those little Easter eggs in this movie. It's not overpowering.
No, it's just line here or there. Yeah.
Yep. And then.
So they go back and they meet up with the Rebel Alliance, and they're like, "We need to do this." And no one's believing her. They're basically like, "We need to surrender." With the weapon that they have that was able to destroy a city, we've got no chance. We need to basically just quit.
Yep. Yeah.
That's it. They're done.
Exactly.
They're scared out of their minds.
It's true. Yeah. They're donezo. And some of them want to fight.
Couple,
most of them are just on the fence.
Most say no.
Yeah. Obviously. And that's why Mon Mothma was like, "Sorry, we can't fight. We need full support
Rebellion's
of the council."
Over.
Yep.
And then did they decide that we're going to go no matter what, at least a few of us.
Yeah, exactly. Like you see Cassian gather up these groups of people. He's like, they're thieves. They're like, they know they're going to die with the Empire someday. It's like, why not die fighting? Fighting for something you believe in. I love that. It's just a group of ragtag team just getting together, just
it's almost like
ready to go to Scarif.
Yeah, it's like patriotic in a way, even though there's nothing to really.
But it's a galaxy.
It's for like you're patriotic for like some ideals or something like that, just to like break this thing that's like oppressing us and has been a source of evil. So if it means we lose, we lose. But like you said, what's our future anyways?
Right. Yeah.
What,
Like-
to be on the run from them, or to be punished by them, or
Right.
for something, or to get thrown away?
And we know this is a planet that can destroy planets. If I'm on the planet they destroy, I'm going to die anyway. So
Yeah. Well, let's do it now.
die on my own terms at
Right.
this point.
For something, yeah.
Yep. So I love that. Just how they got together, and then as they're leaving. What do you think about the R2D2 and C3PO cameo?
It's to pass through. Nothing special there for me.
I thought it was forced. It was
Yeah, they just want to put them in.
exactly. I
Yeah.
think they could have done it, especially because they're facing the camera as the camera pans, and they're just facing there.
No, yeah.
They're going to, no one tells me anything. So it's like it was too forced for me. Anyways, I just wanted to mention.
Yeah,
that
someone's
real
like,
quick.
hey, we got to have them in.
Yep.
Like, okay.
Exactly. All right. So our number 3 is just the whole space battle that goes on. They go into Scarif because that's where they know the Death Star plans
Another
are.
cool planet.
Yeah, very cool.
And that's what I
Beach
love.
Planet.
Yeah, I love Star Wars because, or things like that, are the contrast
Yep.
between, we get Hoth and Empire Strikes Back, and it goes to a cloud city. In Return of the Jedi, we get like the Redwood Forest. We get the desert and A New Hope, and this
Yep.
one we get all different kinds of
I know.
stuff.
Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, the beach setting.
Well, Adu was kind of cool too. It was like a mountainous sort of just
right.
place, just something all
In the
different.
rain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then Scarif, it's like this tropical,
Right.
like where you want to go on vacation, that kind of place.
I know, right? Yeah. I love the setting they chose for this, and yeah, I mean, our number 4 is basically the space battle above it, plus the battle on the ground. Really,
Yeah. So
this is the war part of Rogue One here.
It's cool. I mean, we learned that an entire fleet can just be transported instantly from here to there, which I don't know what to do with that now. I don't know. It seemed like there should be some. We're like, okay, we're gonna go there. Okay, we're there.
Yeah,
It's like,
well,
I don't.
and also they've established though since Force Awakens and Rogue One is that they're in. Like they go into hyperspace, but they're in hyperspace for a while. They're like talking while they're in hyperspace. So
Yeah, I don't know, but it seems like it takes no time.
well,
for-
in that scene, yeah, but in other scenes though, they're like, the story serves that we're gonna take our time.
Well,
to...
in A New Hope, they're hanging out. They're having whole conversations the first time. It's
Oh yeah, I guess it was established there too.
It's almost like they're
'Cause,
on like a
when
train
Luke is training
yeah,
and stuff. Yeah,
It's going to be a number of hours before we get to wherever.
Yeah.
And this one, they're moving whole ships back
Yeah.
and forth.
okay.
No,
I guess
whatever.
you're right.
But yeah, well, what I really like about this is Spaceballs
it really is.
done right.
No,
It's the
definitely.
same idea.
Yeah.
It's a planet shield with a small opening instead of it like being a window with a
Yeah.
vacuum cleaner. It's just the same thing.
Oh man,
But it's cool, right?
It's really cool because I mean, you get Admiral Raddus,
Yeah.
the Admiral Akbar of this movie, but it's Admiral
Mon
Raddus.
Calamari.
And I just love their characters because they're just kind of generals, they're admirals, just leading the whole
Yeah.
war, just what goes where, and I just love this space battle.
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
really well
so
done.
awesome, and I like how it's like the blue X-wings and stuff.
Yeah, you get all the different ships. They're trying to knock out this thing that is a circle that powers the shield.
Yeah.
And it's like a heavy armored, so they just keep pounding
Yeah,
it.
keep
Nothing else.
pounding
Yeah.
it, and I just love when they disable one of the Star Destroyers. Then they're like
They send in that ship. Yeah.
the Hammerhead
Yeah.
Corvette they call it. They
Yeah.
they slam into the disabled Star Destroyer. It knocks into the other one.
Yeah.
And just when they knock together, the effects when they're the
I know,
debris
yeah.
flying everywhere, it's incredible.
That's awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
Like the effects in this, I just couldn't believe just how awesome they were. I mean, I saw Justice League a couple weeks ago, and the effects didn't even compare to what this was. And
Yeah.
I want, I'm not just trying to be biased or anything, just because I love Star Wars, but
No, that was a major
The-
blockbuster, and this one really wasn't. This
Yeah.
was just a kind of a smaller movie.
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, just
I know,
love
it was
that.
great.
And
Those-
just the battles on the ground, just
Uh-huh.
love the explosions and the sand, and just like and AT-ATs I loved in this movie. I know you weren't a fan in Empire.
They're
but-
better in this one. They
Yeah.
seem to make more sense here.
Yeah.
And I also love too when the ships that actually made it through the shield before they could close it, the ones that were flying around, just like that, like getting just inside the shield, like by
Yeah.
a hair. And a couple die always. They don't quite make
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
The battles in this were great, and the whole like plan to like the people that landed in first, where they like set all these charges all over.
I know.
All over the place, and Krennic is racing in.
Yeah.
So like, what's going on? He's like, send the garrison.
Yeah.
Like
So cool. And I like how the blue X-Wings were the only ones to fly in there, because you knew they were all going to die.
Right.
So like that's why they weren't in A New Hope.
That makes sense.
So that makes sense. And I love the hurrah moment, like when they first get there. I forget the rebels were in a certain situation. What was it? But anyways, the rebels were kind of in a dire situation there on the beach, and then Radis comes in.
Yeah.
It's like a hurrah moment, like, oh, he came to save the day. And then you get another hurrah moment when the AT-ATs first get there, and then the AT-ATs are shooting them. It seems like they're overpowering them, and then Baze shoots them with a rocket launcher.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, that'll take care of it. And it's like, nope. And then the AT-AT's about to shoot him, and then the X-Wings come in, and another hurrah moment.
But that's when you get that like legit back and forth.
Yeah, the back and forth, but you mean between the ground and the
exactly.
in the air? Yeah.
And then it's like we're not like just killing everyone and destroying. This is like you start to get the sense that they're running out of time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
and they're limited by what they can actually do here.
Yeah, exactly. Like
even with reinforcements coming in.
Yeah, you feel that tension. So yeah, that basically leads to our number 5, which is they do steal the Death Star plans. She was able to beam them up.
Right.
She was able to beam them up, like they said in A New Hope. Transmissions were beamed to the ship, as Darth Vader said.
In case we didn't say, this planet is like the data center for the Empire.
Right.
And they store, it's like their server farm or whatever, where they store all their major data files and they broadcast it out of this huge tower to across the galaxy, I guess, right?
Yep.
So, and that's the plan here, where they keep the plans of the Death Star, where Galen has hidden a trap or whatever weakness. So they need that, but they cannot transmit through the shield while it's active. Remember this whole thing?
Yep.
There's just all these little obstacles that they have to overcome along the way.
It's similar to Jedi, where they need to destroy the thing on Endor first in order for them to get through to the Death Star, things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's very similar in that regard. But yeah, they steal the plans. They're able to, Krennic, confronts Jyn.
Right.
Jyn, says she's, Galen Erso's daughter. Cassian saves her at the end.
Oh, also a nice death by K2SO.
I know. I never thought it would be so emotional about a droid dying.
He's like at the control center just trying to fend off, because they start to figure out what's going on, that they're trying to steal the data. They keep sending stormtrooper after stormtrooper, and eventually he falls and dies and sacrifices himself for them.
And I like when he says goodbye to Jyn. She gives him the gun, and he's like, "You continue to surprise me."
Yeah,
just a cute little line there.
Yeah,
but
he hated her from the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. Like he was always ragging her and things like that. But yeah, it was cool to see that. But yeah, it was heartbreaking to see him die there. It was like, oh man, because he died sacrificially.
Yeah, he did. He's a great character. It's too bad he's gone. Well, we wouldn't see him again, I guess. But it would be nice to see something like that again, done in that same way. He was really, really well done. He's arguably the best droid in the Star Wars movie. Arguably, I mean. So. And
then when she finds the plans, they're codenamed Stardust, which is fitting because her father called her Stardust. So I think that was
she knew immediately what it was. It's some like touch. Complicated, like physical thing where they have to find.
Seems like it was tape. It would be like in a video game or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was cool.
They have to climb up and go up to the of course the antenna isn't aligned. She's gonna walk over and realign the antenna for broadcasting. Yep. Krennic confronts them, and we thought Cassian was maybe gone or not, but he arrives just in time to shoot him.
Which typical movie magic,
but not cheesy.
Yeah, not cheesy
weird,
at all.
No.
And this, I mean, we might as well talk about the deaths of all the characters. So we get Bodhi, who is the defective pilot, which I want to talk real quick. Just he was a phenomenal actor.
Yeah,
I thought
really
he
good.
did a really good job. He dies, after he did his part, and then you get Chirrut, who needs to turn on the switch so that Bodhi's actually able to talk to the rebels.
They need to find that master switch to activate it.
The master switch, and as Chirrut is talking, saying, "The Force, I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me." And then he's able to make it all the way there, flip the switch, and then he gets shot. And then Baze, you get his reaction, and he's
like.
Yeah, because he's always, he seems like a non-believer in the Force.
He's more skeptical.
He's just there to protect Chirrut, and then he dies in his arms.
And you can tell he is
Yeah.
he is a believer.
Yeah,
in the-
as he's holding him, he says, "The Force is, I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me."
great, really powerful. And then he just goes on a killing
Yeah.
suicide rampage.
Yeah, 'cause it's like,
basically.
what else? That's who I was protecting, who I was fighting for.
And that's when you get the sense.
Start.
Yeah, when you get the feeling here that this is kind of the end
Yeah,
for
this is the
everybody.
end. Yeah, exactly.
Because
And I
they
just
can't. This is still, no matter what they do, there's just still a heavily armed, stocked base.
Yeah.
There's no transporting them out of there because the rebel fleet has to start moving off
Right. Yeah, because they gotta get out of there.
because the Death Star shows up over the horizon.
Right. Oh, how awesome is that shot when it?
That's amazing.
And especially when you see it from the planet.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
Yeah, it's so cool.
Very cool.
The shots in this are awesome. It's just little like things like that. It's done
Yeah.
so well. So the rebel fleet has to back off here because they're going to get shot with this thing and get all destroyed. They know the power of it.
Right.
So that means you're on the planet. You've got no rescue.
Yeah, I mean you're done. I mean that's even
There's no transport out of there.
As Admiral Rada says it, Rogue One, may the Force be with you.
Yeah.
This is where I really like the score,
Yeah.
because I mean you realize the things are coming. You know the transmission was beamed up, so you know that
They
that's
get
how they
it.
got the Death Star plans. But then the characters we grew to love in this movie,
Yeah.
they're not going to be so lucky.
So meanwhile, the Death Star is like, we know kind of what they're doing. So in order to stop it, let's just destroy the entire planet
The entire city
or city.
yeah, or area that they're in. Yeah,
Becomes the planet. No, is it just the?
yeah, it's just the city because Alderaan. I think even they say in New Hope is the first demonstration of the full power of the Death Star, so they couldn't destroy the full planet.
I really do wonder though, with the kind of destructions going on, and I mean, how can a planet survive that? Like, I mean, maybe it doesn't all blow up immediately, but like,
yeah, that planet I think is done for.
yeah, there's gonna no climate there. It's going to be a dust cloud for a million years. It may just break apart.
It's true.
It's
true. Yeah,
but they're like, let's just destroy the base on the off chance, or just to cover our bases basically, so that they don't get this information out.
Right.
We're just going to kill the whole thing,
yeah,
our whole data center. We'll just blow it up.
yeah.
That's how how they throw away lives. And,
I mean, do you think that was desperate of them at that point?
Oh, definitely.
we gotta.
Yeah, it was pure desperation, but it didn't require a moral choice.
Right? Yeah. What do they care?
They don't
We're
at
killing
all.
our own men here.
Yeah.
What difference does that make?
This is our objective,
Yeah, exactly.
and it cannot be found out.
And it was Tarkin who gave the orders
Yeah.
ultimately.
He doesn't care.
Yeah, of course not. But yeah, I love that Disney had the balls to do this, to kill your main characters that you just introduced.
They succeed.
Yeah, they succeed. Yeah, and then you again that emotional moment where Rada says, "May the Force be with you," and then Jin and Cassian, they know they're dying. They go down on the beach and they embrace each other, and
beautiful scene,
gorgeous scene. And
that's heroism.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, I mean that's that what you fought, and just like she has her motivations. She knows her father fought, died for the greater good. She's like, all right, well, I'm going to do the same. I watched my mother die in front of me.
Yeah,
she and she was standing up for the greater good. At the beginning when she was going against Krennic,
right?
So I mean, she's saw it her whole life, really. So yeah, I just think it's very powerful scenes.
Yeah,
heartbreaking, but at the same time hopeful because you're like, man, they did what they needed to do.
This is very powerful for a Star Wars film.
Absolutely,
this is powerful for any film. This reminds me a bit of like an Arrival kind of feeling.
Yeah. Definitely.
Where you have this like fantasy almost element, but like a heavy emotional thing, This is, I mean, they save the day, but not for themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because they're done. Yeah. And I like that. Yeah, they're holding each other, and then you just see the bright lights as the Death Star explosion just takes them over. Just amazing.
They complete their transmission.
Yep.
And then this leads us into our sixth Pick Six, which is this film on like speed, right? Yep. It's so intense. They get that transmission, but I think the main capital ship was disabled, and they're a pod or an escape pod from that big ship, right?
Yes. Yeah, which is the Tavern 4.
Tavern 4, yeah.
Which is the ship that we see at the beginning of A New Hope. Yep.
So that's the ship they're trying to capture. They're just trying to escape because they're just an escape vehicle.
Yeah, exactly.
Off the major one that got did it get shot? I don't remember.
Well, another cool shot when Radis, they're trying to go to hyperspace, to say bye-bye to Scarab.
Yeah, where
then the Star Destroyer comes in, and then they all a bunch of them crash into the Star Destroyer. How awesome is that?
That was great, yeah.
Amazing.
It's like, that was awesome.
But yeah, I mean, basically, this is the Vader scene. I mean, that's our final pick.
But they've got that info. 6. He's breaking into the ship. He's like...
He says, prepare a boarding party, because he's on that Star Destroyer that they just all crashed into. He's on that. Prepare a boarding party. And man...
They just escape.
Yep. And I love because, you see the rebels that, are in the same gear that we saw the rebels in A New Hope. You're like, oh, I recognize these guys. Who are these guys? They're trying to, you hear the alarm sounds. They're trying to get through. They go through, and then this door won't open for some reason. It's all dark in there.
Help me. And
then all of a sudden, it gets silent for a minute, and you hear a couple footsteps. Then you hear the breathing.
Yep.
The Vader breathing. Still can't see anything.
No.
And then what do you hear? The awesome lightsaber sound, and the red just light up over. And then they say, they say fire, and they start shooting at him. Lightsaber ain't got nothing on the shooting. I mean, I'm not going to go do play-by-play here, but yes, the Vader scene, unbelievable. This is what we've always feared of Vader.
Oh, yeah, this is his relentlessness. Right?
Yes.
He's going through, and there's they got the data thing, and they're just running, and they just get away from him.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's destroying people left and right. Everyone's putting up their, feeble defense, but it's just enough.
Yep.
To get away.
Barely.
Yeah.
They barely get away. And I love just the music.
So intense.
This is like a horror right here. This is the horror of Darth Vader. Again, this is what we feared of, in A New Hope. We didn't see much of him. We didn't see his full power.
No, you're right. This has it's almost like a monster movie.
Yeah, exactly.
For a minute.
You're like, okay, that's what they were scared of. I get it now.
Yeah.
He lifts the guy in the air, while he's still deflecting shots, then chops him down while he's in the air.
It's brilliant.
And just amazing shots of Darth Vader. It's not over the top even.
No.
I never felt it was over the top. And I love they used Vader the perfect amount in this movie.
Yeah, and that makes me think, because you don't really see Vader be anything really all that cool.
Yeah.
This is the only movie, I think, where you get all that cool stuff.
Yeah,
he's
definitely.
Pretty... In the prequels, the original trilogy, he's pretty much fairly wooden. The sword fights aren't that sophisticated.
Right.
It's more like in your mind what he is. And this one, you see his physical abilities.
No, definitely. Yeah. It's just unbelievable. Just such a
brilliant,
great end to the movie. And then, gotta say it, gotta talk about it. The end of the movie, they're able to escape from Vader after he killed 15 guys. We see him on screen kill 15 guys with the Force, with his lightsaber, things like that. And then this is a familiar ship, all the white lit hallway and everything, and then familiar uniforms on. They bring it and they say, this just came, and they hand it. Oh, what do we see from behind? We see Princess Leia.
And I like the CGI in this. I skipped ahead on the transport ship earlier, but I like the way she looks here. I don't mind it. I mean, it's good, because we don't. What do we want to see? God rest her soul. But do we want to see her pretend to be young?
Exactly. Yeah, you didn't. Yeah, that would be stupid if they used the Carrie Fisher. But
it's well done. It's well done here.
Absolutely.
It's just for 30 seconds, and it's enough.
And it's just one word she says too. What is on the? What did they send us? And then she says, "Hope."
Hope. Yeah. Which is, A New Hope.
A New Hope. And then the Tantive 4 goes into light speed, and then that's when we get the credits.
Yeah.
Just great. Again, same with Force Awakens. I had a huge smile on my face after this.
Me too.
Such an awesome... it gave me goosebumps when she said hope, just because it's wow, this is how it all started.
It's really powerful.
This is what the title crawl was in A New Hope.
Yeah.
This is what they were talking about. They just won their first major victory with against the Empire.
So you watched A New Hope right after this?
Yeah, I came home and I watched the beginning, It's just
seamless,
it's so
right?
cool. Yeah, very seamless. It's really cool. But
I just love the tension in this movie. I love the way, it's how are they going to get away?
Yeah, exactly. It's like how, yeah.
They win, but they lose, and they just get away. You know, it's
Right.
like it's such a struggle, and
Yeah.
this shows that so much. So, great character development, great direction, you know, good use of the Force in
Right.
this.
Yeah, I agree too. Yeah, and explaining, you know, how different people, just because you're not a Jedi, you can
Right.
still feel the Force and kind of use it, harness it.
Exactly.
Like Chirrut does. I like how they explain that.
He definitely is. We don't know about Baze, if he's got a kyber crystal or if he's Force sensitive. He definitely believed in it. or
Yeah,
at least,
especially at the
yeah.
end there. Very emotional there.
So really good. This would be a really good intro to the story, I think, for someone
yeah,
who had never
I
seen
agree.
a Star Wars movie. I might say just watch this.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and then just jump into A New Hope, and
Yeah. Well, because it's chronologically. Yeah.
yeah,
So
Yes.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if you've got a lot of questions on this.
nah, I don't. I mean, yeah, we usually have our next segment, Who's the Idiot, Me or the Movie, where we might have questions or gripes. I mean, my big gripes are with Forrest Whitaker scenes and then the whole Boar Gullet scene.
Yeah. Not a
And
fan
just
there.
kind of started off, the movie kind of started off a little slow and things like that, but overall, just amazing film.
I think
the
there's
last 30 minutes.
Yeah, the visuals are great in this. It's a great looking film. Yeah, I don't have a lot much here. You just get it's a great context filler and back filler for
Definitely.
the original.
How would you rate this?
I'm gonna give this one 4 stars and 4 buckets of popcorn.
Wow.
Yeah, I really like this movie. This
Makes
one
sense.
is, if you hear our top Star Wars movies countdown, this is my number 2, only behind Empire Strikes Back. So I really love this movie. I think it's outstanding. It exceeded my expectations, and it tells a great story. You know, it stays, it's true to the original spirit. It expands on it. It updates it. Gives you great characters. This is everything I could ask for in a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I totally agree. I give it, just because, I mean, the Chirrut stuff, or not the Chirrut stuff, the Forrest Whitaker stuff and the score,
You're
things
really
like
not a
that.
fan.
Yeah. I really get engaged the last 30 minutes of this movie. I give it a 3.5 stars and 3 buckets of popcorn.
Okay, so I think it's a bit better quality and more entertaining.
Yeah.
This is just a 2-hour movie, though.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, I mean it's not too long or anything.
That's fair.
There's just some scenes where I could do without and just kind of.
I just love the
But 3.5.
ends.
I mean that's still great
Yeah,
for me. So
yeah.
I love this movie.
I love. I don't like the Saw Gerrera stuff. I agree. It does drag a bit to open. But I just love what this thing does for the whole franchise. Yeah.
I agree.
Great movie.
Yeah, it's fun to talk. There's so much more things I could have said about
I
this, but
know.
we try not to keep these shows too long. But
Yeah.
all right, well, that is it for us. Let us know what you guys think about this movie. Tweet us at BlockbusterCast. My personal account is at BCCord.
I'm at Dave_Quist.
And be sure to follow us on YouTube, and subscribe, comment, and subscribe to us on iTunes. Comment, review us,
We'd love
give
it.
us ratings, things like that.
Any and all feedback.
Any and all feedback. That's what we like.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, folks. Well, that is it for us. Next show, we will definitely be talking about, or next analysis show, we will definitely be talking about Return of the Jedi. So definitely check that one out.
Can't wait for that one.
Me neither, man. All right, folks. Well, that is it for us. I am speaking for Dave. For Dave, I'm Ben Secord. And as always, grab some popcorn, grab some snacks. We'll catch you guys at the cinema.